In the meantime, we will start doing what we are supposed to do today, is to listen. Use this power. Okay, good. So we are now live and welcome everyone to this 1 hour workshop. And today we're going to talk about this. We're continuing the series of authentic expression. And the topic for today is the art of listening. Now, I've taken up this topic, which started in a series of several um, other topic under the same name, authentic expression. And the reason is that I found most of the challenges was there when we interact with other people. When we want to say something from inside and we feel that maybe we're not understood. So one of the things that I think is very important is before I try to understand somebody, I need to develop this art of being able to listen because I want to be understood. So is the other person. So if I don't know how to listen, um, it's very difficult to really relate to the other person because I need to understand that person before I can express myself. So it's quite clear how this art of listening is connected to our main subject of expression, authentic expression. Um, so today we're going to explore this topic. And because there is little time, I will just straight away jump into the topic and try and make it a little bit interactive. I know some people sometimes can't speak. If you can chat, that's good. If you can't, then, I think just listening to the conversation might give something for you as a takeaway. So, with regards to listening, if you remember the last topic, who remember the last authentic expression? What did you do in the last one? Anyone remembers? It was regarding what? Do you remember? Very important point also, which is connected to today's topic. Anyone? No? Thank you. Disappeared
Yes,
suddenly. Say again?
uh, in general, the topic was how to calm yourself and
Yes, the
how
power, the
the
pose.
power of calming yourself
Yeah,
to
yeah,
connect with the other person
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Zain. Yeah, yeah.
in
So it's
general.
so
But there's a lot
important.
of things to discuss about the previous ones. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, so I think if there is anything that is very, very important in terms of listening is you need to be able to have this patience. You need to be able to cultivate this capacity to be able to stay in that pose, in that peace, whatever is going on. So when there is an emergency, what's the first instruction that we get? If you are calling for an emergency number, what is it that they tell you first? Anyone?
I think the first thing you should do is to take a deep breath.
No, no, they don't tell you that.
I
What's your
think they will
emergency?
say that be in a safe place and they will try to calm you down
Exactly, yeah.
and say some positive affirmations. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Mike, you were saying something?
I think the only thing that makes sense to ask you is what's your emergency?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, they encourage you to stay calm because when somebody is in emergency, it's difficult to understand what they're because they are, fully charged. If you want to talk to somebody, you need to be calm, and that other person will be able to listen to you. So there are two sides of when you're talking about the art of listening. So from my side. if I am calm and I am listening in a very calm, like there's no rush from my side, I notice the other person slow down. But sometimes you get somebody who's fully charged and wants to just speak, 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 or sometimes wants to really attack, you know. So all these aspects come in. And when I am calm, what I notice is the other person becomes calm. And now more and more, one of these classes, I can't remember which one, I spoke about just being in silence. Just I need to be in silence. If I really want to express, I need to be in silence first, you know. And uh, I was just experiment with a friend, and I said, okay, let's just be silent and see what this person is going to do. So both of us went into silence, and this person was not even looking at that. He was speaking, and we were behind. And then suddenly he noticed that there was silence, and he turned. He said, "What's wrong?" He turned to us, So silence has so much power. Silence has so much power, and you can't listen if you are thinking about the reply, the response that you want to give. You can't listen if you are in a hurry to put your point. You can't listen if you don't have patience to try and understand. Because sometimes we listen and we try to think that we have already got what they're trying to say. And I have done this so many times myself, and I know that it's really like something that you have to make effort to do, you know, just to be calm and just to listen. It's one of the most powerful, but yet quite challenging. Okay, so let me hear from you. Maybe in terms of when you are listening, what is it that you're listening? When we're listening to somebody else, in reality, what is happening while a person is listening? Or while you are listening, when I'm speaking, let's say, for example, right now, when I'm speaking to you, what's happening to you as a listener? What do you do? I mean, really, what do you do? Right now, we can experiment. Yeah, Sanjay.
We are getting knowledge.
Okay, so you feel that you are listening to me and you are receiving some kind of knowledge, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what do you do when you're receiving that knowledge?
Means I will study in that one, and I will try to develop myself.
Okay, so you are listening so that you can learn. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
yeah. We'll come to you, Azim. Just one comment, process what you are saying. You're trying to process. Yes, very good. You're trying to process what I'm saying, right? Okay. And Zaina saying, posing until you explain yourself. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Azim, you wanted to share something?
Yeah, I had the same word. We'll try to process to understand what's being said
Yeah,
and make sense out of it.
yeah, yeah. Anyone else?
To gather the information and putting it into practice later.
Yeah. So that's very good. Yeah, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that this is actually what is happening right now. Okay. To gather this information, to process it later, or something like that, or to process it right now. Jamila? I think Jamila has some issue with her
Yes,
connection.
it's
Yeah.
not just hearing; it's to hear and to understand the person
Okay.
is saying.
So I haven't heard your words, but I think I understand what you're saying because I was very much listening to you. And Jamila brought a very interesting word, hearing. Okay, hearing. So there is something called hearing and there is something called listening. What's the difference between the two? What's the difference between hearing and listening?
I think you listen to understand and process, but you here is more surface level, I think.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So there's some points online. You should be giving your full attention and hearing, and listening is full attention, and hearing is what the other person is saying. Yeah. Then the thing is listening with your heart as well as your ears. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So one is a technical process which says that I hear, but there's no assurance that there is an understanding there. So deeper aspect of hearing is actually listening. Yeah, Aruba saying listening is understanding, hearing not necessarily. You are understanding. Yeah. So you can be hearing, but you maybe there are two people who are talking. You can hear, but you're not listening. Okay, because there is one thing that is missing, which is attention. There is no attention. Okay, so one of the aspect that there is no necessary. Yeah, so you could be listening, and at the same time, of course, you have to hear what they are saying, but it has this aspect which is further. So Roll is saying here is noticing that talking, but not processing. Yeah, listening is processing and understanding and paying attention to it. Focus what the other person is saying. So there's one very interesting point. I think maybe we are ready to take this one. So when you are listening to someone, what exactly you're doing actually? You are taking the information that that person is giving, but the understanding of whatever you're taking is not based on what that person is speaking. When I'm listening, I'm taking information of that other person and it comes to me, but this is interpreted by my conditionings that I have. So usually there is you trying to take some information, but you're trying to interpret as per your experience. So it's always like there are three people, one person is talking, two people are listening, but these two people will get two different things. They're not necessarily going to have the same thing because they are not the same. These two people are not the same. So listening is a very unique thing that happens on the basis of the one who's listening. Okay, and the attitude in which I listen. Okay, so it's not only about the words and understanding the words, it's about receiving this information and then interpreting, like we said, many people said processing and all that, but who is processing? You are processing. It's not the other person is processing. So one person is speaking, they could be like for example, there are 15 people in this room, and 15 people have 15 different information that they are receiving from what I'm saying. Yeah, you can see that it's not the same information. Like if we tell you like two people, they might have the same words, but the understanding might be quite different from one to the other, and that is quite important as well, because if I clean myself and I am able to receive everything in that unbiased way, then my listening will be very different. In fact, that I don't need to engage my mind. So there is another kind of listening which is much deeper than just listening, is to actually not only listen to the words, you listen with your eyes, you listen with your heart, you listen with your body. Yeah. So it's not just the like we said, hearing is with the ears, but when I'm listening with my full self. You see that? Does that make sense? You can see that there is another dimension of listening. Okay. And for that, I need to really deeply tune myself. For me to be able to actually listen in that level, I need to be able to tune myself. Okay. So when I am very, very calm and I don't have any rush, I'm completely present to the other person, that's the time when I am actually listening to that other person. Has anybody experienced something like that? Anyone? No one?
I think this is the only time when you can observe all of these things when you are calm, and because if you are in distress or not feeling okay, then even words are coming, but you don't, you don't think about it. It's just you're just hearing something.
Yeah. So one of the very important technique is to hear the words, but at the same time, pay attention to it, bring the element of listening, but see more important than what the person is saying. I need to be able to feel what the other person is feeling. When this
That
person is
means,
yeah.
is it being empathetic, like feeling exactly what they feel? And we are listening and we are feeling as if we are going through it.
No, there is a distinction. It's a little bit similar to that, but there is a distinction. And the distinction is that I'm not feeling as in, like, let's say this person is in deep sorrow. I'm not going through sorrow, but I can see the sorrow that that person is going. Like one person is coming and he's or she is expressing something, and then they start crying, and then you start crying with them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being able to pick up their feeling from what they're saying. I don't need to necessarily feel that feeling. In other words, I'm not affected by what they're saying. So I'm quite detached, but I'm able to know not from what they're saying, but I'm able to know from what they're feeling and then respond to that feeling. So often, some of the seniors that we have, meditators here, you would go and you would ask a question, and their answer will be different from the question. They will not answer you the question, they will answer you something very different, you know. And this shows that ability to be able to tap into that person's energy and to be able to respond to their feeling. Many times, this happens with children. When children speak, they are not really deeply into words, but their feelings are quite, like when somebody comes to you and says something, and your something is rejecting what they're saying, because either you feel they're lying or you feel that there is something behind what they're saying. You understand? So I'm talking about that kind of feeling. Does it make sense? Hello? Does it make sense to be
Yes,
able
it
to
does, Arif.
tune? Yeah, to be able
Yeah.
to tune into what that person at that moment when they are speaking. So you can see that it's a big job. It's not just hearing and understanding. There is more than hearing and understanding, because even understanding is in the level of the mind. A little bit like Zaina said, there is a heart that has to be into that conversation, where the person
Yes.
lives. Like, have you seen like somebody coming to you and saying so many things and saying, and then they say, "Oh, we feel so good," and you haven't said anything to them? I get this quite
Yeah.
often. I get this quite often. I haven't spoken anything, but the person says, "Oh, it's so nice that I came and I said whatever I wanted to say," because there is we call it the ability to contain that energy and then empower that energy with your energy, you know. So that presence, that peace that you bring into that conversation helps the other person. As we said, they can calm down, they can feel heard, they can feel understood by just listening. So you don't need to do anything physically when you're listening, but there is a lot of things that is happening. Okay. And I don't think you can even do it. My personal experience is that um, I can have an intention of wanting to listen, but actually listening happens when I'm able to just be. When I'm in that stage of just being able to be, then I'm able to pick up all this information from the other person. Yeah? Any questions?
It's not a question, it's just I want to add something. It's acknowledging their emotions and recognizing their feelings. And this is a kind of respect. You do this, they'll feel respected,
Yeah.
that you are listening to them. And that will give them more incentive to continue talking and explaining themselves better. And you can also ask them questions during that conversation.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these techniques we will talk about, what you just said, we will just touch. I'm not going to go deeply into it because we don't have too much time, but I'm going to just touch on some of these things that we can do. But there's this saying that just comes to my mind, maybe not connected directly, but Fariduddin Attar said that had I known how listening is superior to speaking, I would not have wasted my life preaching. Had I known how listening is superior to speaking, I would not have wasted my life preaching. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, there's so much in this aspect of listening. But there are 2, 3 things that I wanted to share in terms of like some techniques. And I don't like usually to use this word technique because I feel that things come naturally, when we do this. But it's good to point these things out because it might help. So one of the skills that we usually do, and again, we don't make it so mechanical, but when somebody is speaking to you, you can reflect back what you've heard, just to confirm that it's being heard and that other person also, like for example, when I'm talking here and I stop and I said that, is there anything from your side? Why I'm doing that is because I need, to see the feedback. Any speaker needs to see what is coming back and whether this point is clear or not, because you can lose people very easily. So one of the things that we use in our communication is to to kind of say to the other person that it's I heard this from what you're saying, or this is what I'm hearing. So that's a very good one. Of course you have to be present, your body has to be like that you are listening, you are interested in hearing what that other person is saying. And again, not to fake it, we are authentic expressors, so we're not faking it, but genuinely being interested in what the other person. And if I'm not interested, then or if there is something else, then I should actually excuse myself, and try to, if possible, connect with the other person later. One of the other things about listening is, if you want to be able to listen, you don't rush. You need to have pauses. Okay, so if the person spoke something, give them a few more seconds if they want to add something. And then when you know that, this person has already expressed what they wanted and you have something to say, then I need to speak. Otherwise, I can just remain quiet and let's be in silence. And people find that very useless, but I think that's the most useful thing. When the person has spoken and you are in silence, a lot of things happen in that gap, and this is what I think. I think Rumi, I had another quote, is that there is a voice that doesn't use words. That's and then Rumi says, listen. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. It's so beautiful. So where there is pause and where there is silence, we need to tune into that. We need to be in that silence, feel that silence. And then listening will be much, much, much easier. Okay. So what are the things that are detrimental to this process of listening? What are the barriers? Anything that you think might be a barrier towards listening?
Distractions.
Aha, very
Distractions.
good.
You are looking at
Yes,
your
yes,
mobile,
yes,
for
yes,
instance,
yes,
or
yes.
reading a
I'm talking.
newspaper.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, or doing something else while the other person is talking. This is
This is a
terrible.
big
I've seen
disease.
this. I experienced this. Yeah.
Yeah, I have done it. I have done it. So multitasking, which is basically not paying full attention. And then Pavitra says an internal dialogue, like biases, an internal things that you are saying something, but my bias is, is not really reading that because I want to listen to. In fact, there are people who can never listen to what you're saying because their biases are so strong and their beliefs is so strong that what you're saying is not being heard at all. It's not being heard at all because they just don't want to listen to. They just, it's like fixed. And there are some people who will listen to you and will just reinterpret it based on their own beliefs or their own kind of, you know. So you say that, no, I never said that. And they say, no, that's what you said, you know. So Rola pointed out a very good one is trying to give direct solution. Okay. So when somebody comes to talk to you, you think that they are asking you for a solution to their problem, but it's very rare, that somebody is asking for solution. So it's very important one. And not only that, Rola, sometimes you are preparing for that solution. Yes. One last, and then Azim.
Can I
Let
take
go.
Sorry. Can I ask a question here, Arif?
Yeah, just 1
Please.
second. I'll just read Jessa and then we can
Yeah,
continue. I
okay.
think there are three people want to speak. Lack of concentration or inattentiveness. That's from Jessa. Okay, so
Yeah,
there are three
this is
people.
what I
Okay,
wanted to say.
Zena, go ahead.
Lack of concentration. Some people
Yeah.
are normally, they have ADHD, which is attention deficit. They cannot have control to focus. And this is a physical problem, emotional problem.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for the person who's talking to make them understand because their mind is somewhere else.
Not there. Yeah, that's true. Jamila, you wanted to say it then?
Yes, I know someone and a very nice person. However, she keeps talking about the same thing. And I say to her, look, I've already heard this. Don't tell me again. But she keeps on talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in that case, I don't even listen. I just carry on with whatever I'm doing. And she's talking.
I can relate to that. Yeah. So this person keeps on repeating themselves. And you know why they keep repeating themselves is because they are looking for something which they haven't found and they'll keep saying it. They're not listening to what you're saying and they'll keep saying it, thinking that, it's just, like going in circles of the same issue and not finding a solution towards it. Usually that's where it happened. I was working with someone who repeated so much that I could actually repeat what they would say. I would know what they would say. So that happens, and that's also a condition. that we go through in certain situations. Yes, Azim?
You earlier mentioned that there are some people who will come and ask you for an advice. So, but they are not coming to ask you.
No.
I've personally experienced a person, he will discuss very serious matters in a descriptive way, and then he would already have answers and he has taken his decisions. So he's just like I felt like my time is being wasted, or you don't value my opinion. You just want to vent off on me because maybe, you know, those I try to understand like what's the mindset behind. So it's like maybe just self-satisfaction, nothing else. He will never take my advice, never. And I liked Miss Jamila when she said that she is very strong and bold, like she will carry on with somebody who's keep repeating. I wish I could do that. So that's good learning.
Yeah, very much so. Richard?
First of all, thank you so much, and good to see everyone on the call. I think with
Nice
going
to
back
see
to the
you.
point about someone, thank you. I'm listening back to you. I think when someone is repeating themselves, what we've got to do there is listen to why they're saying this, listen to what's not being said, and then to ask the question, you know, politely, to say, you've said this before, is this still a worry for you? Does this concern you? So I think we have to be patient with other people to what's not being said and ask why.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, you give that space, the person feels that, okay, I have been heard. And again, you know, not necessarily that they're looking for your advice. But yes, when we feel that there is an opportunity, we can suggest, you know, like in authentic relationship, what authentic expression, what we do is we listen and we say that, look, this is what I feel, you know, rather than this is what you are saying, but this is what I'm hearing, this is what I feel. And then, you know, allow the person to confirm if that's what they're feeling. So it's good to check. Yeah. Rola.
Hello. I
Hello.
just want to tell you one thing that makes us also stop listening, or the other person feels that we're not listening, is when we internalize this, what he's saying, and we project it on our lives. And then we give example. Oh yeah, I had this experience too. And okay, sometimes sharing is good, but it's also taking the energy of them, like their feelings and their to evaluate, not give value to what they're saying instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are two sides of this. There is one technique that we use, especially when there is conflict, is to not to reject what they're saying. You can say that, look, I do understand that somebody could think like that or feel like that, but this is how I would process this, you know. So we acknowledge, but we don't like it's not necessary to agree to what they're saying, but we can acknowledge that we do understand that this is one possibility of looking at something. So it's and the other side, like you said, um, um, they are not looking for you to actually advise them on any particular thing. Thank you. Okay. So so some of the issues that we have, which we've pointed it very beautifully from your side, is to think that I'm being attacked. One of the big barriers, that you feel that this person is attacking you. And in that sense, what you're going to try and do is to try and defend yourself, you know. So you will be bringing some argument, planning for, you know, attacking the other person before even they finish. And you see that there is no communication. You're not really, there's no listening that happens there. Yeah. and the biases, like it was mentioned earlier and again later, that we have preconceived ideas. So when I'm listening to you, I'm not really listening to what you're saying. I'm listening to myself of what you have said to me. So I'm not really, in order to be able to do that, I need to keep my filters away, and I'm authentically just receiving, what's coming. I'm just receiving what's coming, and then together, me and you will make some meaning to what is being mentioned. So one of the areas where listening is becomes quite important, and we often come into this, is when there is some kind of conflict, and you're trying to engage in that. I've mentioned a few things earlier about this. One of the things is to validate the other person's feeling and to respect their feelings and their opinion. If I go into some kind of meeting or talking to a person, and I don't trust that person. So if I come with this idea into that conversation, then there is not going to be any progress. Yeah. So we need to keep our stuff aside for some time and then go into that particular communication. And then I think Richard also mentioned this, is to ask question. Okay. Ask question on, what and how, like, how did you come to this conclusion? What makes you think, things like that. And this will give, again, we are asking this to be able to understand the other person. Yeah. So these kind of questions are good questions so that we can create more understanding. Yeah. And the third one is when we're trying to resolve conflict, is to find the intention, to find what is it that is behind what this person is speaking. What is the real thing? Because often we are like children, children just speak of present, what they're seeing, and they'll answer on the basis of or they'll speak on the basis of this moment. So often the answer is somewhere else. So, and adults have a problem with that. Rola? Were you going to say something, Rola? Okay. No, okay. All right. Okay. So in my experience, I think one of the best things that helps me in listening is the love for silence also, my practice of silence, mindfulness practice. When I am very present, not only, as I said, with my just listening or like my whole being, I'm completely present in the moment, I find that quite useful, as a practice. Yeah. And I'll just finish and then read the comment on the chat box. Again, just look at your body when you're listening to somebody and feel that you're relaxed. You're not, in any way tight. Okay. So it helps to just relax yourself whenever there is a conversation that has to happen and you feel that there might be some challenges in that, just to relax yourself. You can do a little bit of breathing, you can do a little bit of, some kind of exercise before going to a meeting or something like that. And that's, I feel it's quite useful. But just to be there and then not be able to actually be present, it's like you are there, but you don't want to be there. And that usually creates like a barrier also to communication. Yeah. So if I practice understanding myself as peace, if I practice seeing the other person as peace as well. So the other person might be saying something, might be going through some kind of issues. If I'm able to see that this other person is also a peaceful soul, just like I am, then I'm able to engage in that person at a different level. So it's not about what's going on. There are deeper connections that we have, because if you go in anyone's inner core, we are the same, and what we are searching for is the same thing. And we might see that we not understand, because there is always a story behind a story, and we don't know that. We'll never be able to know that, actually, because it keeps going. So I think these few things, if we pay attention to, and if we clear those barriers, then we'll be able to actually be present and be able to listen to what the other person have, and that will will enable us to be more authentic and engaging. Just reading one comment, and then we'll open up for questions. So Richard says, one of the key business lessons in the 7 Habits of Extraordinary Leadership is seek to understand before being understood. Yeah. So I have one more quote. Let me try and look for it. This is from Stephen Richard, I think. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. So this is quite, we see that quite often. Yeah. So any questions, any comments? How was your listening?
It just came to me, this thought. We listen with the intent to reply, because we go through so many exams, and in exams, you listen to the question so you can answer it.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. And I caught myself in that many times, that look, you're not listening. You're just preparing what you need to respond. Yeah. Richard?
One little tip that I was given, nothing came from somebody else, because I have trouble in listening, is to look at the other person's eyes and find out what color their eyes are. And if you do that, it will force you to listen better.
Yeah. Yes, eye contact. Like some of these tips actually work in a different level, but it's good, because it's like, it gives us the opportunity. So whenever you're looking at the color of somebody's eyes, you really need to kind of focus, and then that gives that connection. And there's one more thing about the eyes, is that, which we usually practice in meditation, is to see somebody deeper. Okay, so when you see, like, the eyes are the windows to the soul, and when you look at somebody in the eyes, you actually see the soul. So that's also that's one of the things. But yeah, thanks, Richard, for that. Amazing, good tip. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, Rola says that. Okay, any other questions, any comments?
Sometimes people want us to listen to them. And I have started observing just recently, when I'm not talking to anybody, I'm not listening or watching anything, and just being idle for 30 minutes to sometime 1 hour, doing nothing completely and trying not to think, gives some strange peace of mind. Just trying to start observing this. So I don't know how correct I am, but I'm just trying to focus on this sometimes.
Yeah. This is what actually if I'm able to just sit and I'm just able to be present in that presence of I am, my being, then that's what meditation is. And you extend that for 30 minutes, and then slowly you start getting it. And then in normal life also, there was somebody that I know that has been in silence for many years, and somebody came and asked him that, what is the difference between the years that you were in silence and the years that you actually started speaking? And that person responded saying that I'm still in silence. So it's like, it's very interesting. It's not.
That is so amazing.
Yeah, he was like, there was nothing to say, like he said, I'm still in silence. Yeah, so it's a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful tool. I think maybe we can practice right now. Let's practice this too. Would you like to do a little meditation on this? Yeah, if that's okay. If there's any questions, feel free
Can
to
I
ask.
have one question, Arif,
Please.
before we do that?
Please.
How do you talk to a child, make him listen if he has ADHD? If he cannot concentrate what you're saying, how to make that child be able to listen to you correctly?
Yeah, so this is something that I have been dealing with also. There are some cases, and I don't know if you've heard of Gabor. There's a there is a doctor who actually talks a lot about these issues. It's from Canada, and there's a full course that I've been following for some time. And his way of looking at these issues are quite different. Maybe Zaina, I can sit with you sometime and then share. But the point is that what we see as illness might actually be something quite different, because Gabor Mat might be quite different from the way things develop.
Okay.
Yes, Minas. He's an author and he's a speaker, and he's quite well known. And the way he says that this is a coping mechanism. It's we put a label of everything, but actually they build up this maybe early in childhood, and then they learn how to zone, like how to this, if the circumstances are too difficult, they have this ability to take their attention somewhere. So what you're looking at is something that somebody has learned maybe in their childhood, and they're still using that. But I can share with you some of the things that that might be useful for you to understand what's going on, and then be able to help the other person. Because you can't, if my heart is not there, I can't make anybody listen. I can only listen myself, so we try, but it's not going to work like that. Jamila?
When it comes to children, perhaps it is better to think what it is that that child likes to do or wants to do. How does that child understand? And I have a practical experience of when you consider what that child wants or needs first, not what you want to say. Because I teach English, and I've been teaching English to children in a very nice and amusing way. I mean, like it's a game. And they were so happy. They were so, because they resisted at first. They didn't want to. Their parents wanted them to learn English. But when I taught them in a way that made them happy, and they participate fully, then it becomes like a game, not a lesson.
Yeah. But that's very valid. And when there are specific challenges that a person goes through, I think this has to be like there's a little bit more that I need to be equipped with, and especially the family. If they can understand what's going on, then their way of interaction will be different.
Can I say something?
Yes,
As a
please.
professional in the field?
Yeah.
I
Please,
don't want to
professional.
change.
Let's hear
I
from the
don't want
pro.
to change the. I don't want to change the topic of the session. But regarding ADHD, if the family knows just to just speak straight to the point, not too much words, not too long phrases, just the target, the goal of what they want to say. No judgments, no parasite words, just the right thing to say, and divide the mission into points. Like do this, then that, like 3 points. That's it. Visual support is also a good thing to do, like photos and writing small sentences as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a good thing to add to. But yeah, definitely, if somebody is not well, I think there are different approaches also towards different challenges. So yeah, we can all support one another, I think, in this. Yeah, good. Okay, so let's have a few minutes. We have 4 minutes of listening to silence. Okay, let's tune into silence. So how do we do this is I think one of the most powerful tool to be able to have this skill of listening is to just withdraw your senses. I can hear, I can see, I can feel, but I choose to withdraw myself to a point. A point of conscient energy, this being, and just come back to my truth, come back to peace, come back to stillness. Just being present with myself. Just completely relaxing my body, allowing myself to be here now. Silence is not nothing. Silence is full. Silence is being present. Not having this need to do. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to do anything. I just want to be present in this moment. And in this silence, I can truly listen. I can listen to nature. I can listen to the divine. I can listen to my inner voice. When I remove this clutter that comes in between, I'm able to hear, I'm able to listen, I'm able to feel at the same time. Just being in this moment, completely present, completely silent. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and we'll stop here for today. And yeah, stay tuned on our website. And yeah,
Thank you, sir.
anyone that you feel would be interested, please let them know and connect them to Inner Space. And we'll see you next week with another topic. Till then, have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
Evening. Adam, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Harif.
Thank you, Azim. Thank you. Yeah, you can also share the link if you go to our YouTube page, and or you can just message myself or Sona, and we can share our link. And if you want to have a look and maybe re-look at some part. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you and season's greetings.
Bye-bye.